So for me, I'm just preparing myself, and I have as the best as I possibly can. And now when I step in that ring, I know myself will be 100%. So we just have to see when he's in there how he is. But I definitely don't think it's something I haven't. I think I could do a lot of talking and say, I'm prepared the best I can. You could just look at me and just kind of see the shape I'm in and how I look, and kind of have your own opinion on it. I think that speaks enough. That speaks enough.
And that's a risk I'm willing to run. I believe I achieved more, will be more experienced. And it's my job to go in there and prove that I am at that level, which I will do without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
You don't think I'm going to hit you with that left hook?
No.
Many fighters like you. I thought that was strong. Yeah, you go for it. You go for it. You go for it. You're the one that started that.
You go for it.
Before their much-anticipated fight, Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn went at it at a tense news conference. They talked and looked at each other with confidence and anger, which set the mood for the build-up and got boxing fans all over the world very interested on social media and at press events. Garcia said that Benn is scared and has PTSD. The fight is more important than usual because it will be Garcia's first defense of the WBC welterweight title. The competition between the two fighters is getting stronger. When Garcia won the belt earlier this year, he quickly became one of the most famous boxing stars. Benn has become a mandatory challenger after a string of high-profile performances, but the tension between them has been building for months, with both men insulting each other in interviews, press conferences, and on social media. For Garcia, this fight is a chance to show that he deserves to be king and that he can handle the stress of having the title. For Benn, it's the most important fight of his career, and he could win his first world title. Boxing fans are very interested in them because they have very different styles, are very outspoken, and really hate each other.
September. The Mexican holiday in September, around about the 12th of September. Las Vegas, the destination, as Ryan Garcia of Mexican heritage will be defending his WBC welterweight championship. And he was on the Jimmy Fallon show this week, which is massive over in the States. He made a big announcement because he says that he's going to be fighting a certain fella from the United Kingdom in the shape of Conor Benn. What did you make of all that? And if just for a little bit of context on that, Conor Benn hasn't fought at 147 pounds flat for the last 4 years. His last fight was 150 pound catch weight against Regis Prograis. He hasn't hit 147 for 4 years. Still highly ranked with the WBC at 147, and now gets an opportunity, it seems, in September to be fighting for a world championship.
When they finally meet in the ring, Garcia has said that he thinks he will easily beat Conor Benn. Garcia was very sure that Benn would not hear the final bell. He boldly said that his opponent would be out of the fight by the 6th or 7th round. The WBC welterweight king thinks that Benn will not be able to handle his speed, timing, and devastating left hook during the fight. The prediction came from Garcia after Benn's win over Regis Prograis, which many boxing fans and observers didn't think was very impressive. On many occasions since then, Garcia has said that he is better than the British rival. The American star sees the fight as a chance to make a statement in his first defense of his world title and shut up any critics who are still out there.
No, me, I can't play soccer, brother. You're about to see right now.
Well, look, you get him off.
I'll try my best, though. I can't get him off.
Hey, what round is Conor Benn going to sleep?
Oh, he's going to go to sleep in rounds 6 or 7.
Are you excited?
Of course, man. We're going to beat his... You know that.
He called you out again today.
Oh, it's insane. He act like I actually have a contract. Brother, I don't have a contract, you know?
How you been, Ryan? Good?
I've
You
been
look
good,
good?
yeah,
You look like
yeah.
you've been training?
I've been training hard. Once you're a champion, you got to stay a champion.
It was said by Eddie Hearn that the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn would be a big deal, especially in the UK. Hearn says Garcia's popularity goes far beyond the United States. For example, a lot of British boxing fans like him. Even though Benn is already a big draw in the UK, Hearn thinks that Garcia's fame, social media presence, and fame around the world will make the fight one of the biggest in boxing this year. He also said that Garcia is a bigger star in the UK than Benn is in the US, which shows how popular the American champion is. Fans, news outlets, and broadcasters on both sides of the Atlantic will be interested in a fight, according to Hearn. He has doubts about Benn's performance at 147 pounds, but he still finds the fight exciting and a great way to make money. She thinks that a lot of people in Britain will be interested in the event because it involves two loud people who are really competitive with each other.
In terms of that fight, I think it's a good fight. You know, I don't think it's a big fight in America. I think it's a big fight in the UK. Obviously, Ryan's a big star in America, Conor's not. Ryan's a bigger star in the UK than Conor is in America, and Conor's a big star in the UK. So, yeah, I don't think it's a fight that's going to do massive numbers, but I like the fight. I think it's exciting. I think at 147, Ryan's a big fight. I don't think Conor should be fighting at 147. I think, you know, I like him up at 160 or up towards that weight class, but I don't see a way he beats Ryan Garcia at 1.
Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is the most watched fight in the US. Their reasoning comes from history, rivalry, and the fact that the game has been shown to be fun. The first fight between the two was very exciting. Haney mostly outboxed Garcia, but Garcia's strength led to knockdowns, making the fight very competitive and memorable. Boxing skills and strong strikes work together to make a natural style fight that viewers can easily understand and look forward to. Since they already have a bad relationship and are in the title match, the rematch has a lot of sporting credibility and commercial draw.
Understand anyone that thinks that Conor Benn's a bigger fight than Devin Haney. In the US, it's definitely not a bigger fight. Like Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is huge in the US. Why? Because we know what's going to happen during it. We know what the press tour is going to look like with these guys hating the hell out of each other. And we saw 12 rounds of that. Well, you're right. Devin Haney, in the rounds he didn't get hurt or knocked down, won those rounds. The problem was Ryan Garcia hurt him a lot, knocked him down 3 times, beat him up in that fight. His face was all messed up at the end of that fight.
And it was one of the fights of the year as well, man.
Great fight. This is what I'm saying. It was a great fight. You don't need to tell people that Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney could be a great fight. We know it is because we saw it the first.
Because of how Conor Benn has been fighting lately, some people aren't sure where he fits in the welterweight class. Many people who saw him perform thought it wasn't good enough and saw it as a possible warning sign before more important competitions. Some people also question Benn's status as the WBC's top challenger, saying that his rating is hard to understand since he hasn't done much at 147 pounds in the past few years. After Benn's most recent performance, some critics who used to think that his aggression, power, and explosiveness would make things hard for his opponents are starting to change their minds. Because of this, he has less faith in his ability to play with the best players in his division. Some people don't believe that fighters like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson will be clear favorites in future fights because they have more experience, better technical skills, and a history of success at the top level. Many people think Ben has a long way to go before he becomes one of the best welterweight boxers. He is still a dangerous and marketable competitor, though.
Ben, for whatever reasons, is the #1 ranked challenger to Ryan Garcia's WBC title. All right, let's not litigate that right now. The WBC does incredibly crazy things with their rankings. I agree with you there. Before this fight, I talked to a lot of smart people in boxing that thought Conor Benn would beat Ryan Garcia, that thought Conor Benn's explosiveness would be too much for Ryan Garcia, who often leaves himself kind of in a tough defensive position when he steps back. He drops his guard, that chin hangs up in the air. After this fight, Sergio, I don't know how you can look at a Garcia-Conor Benn matchup and say that Ryan is the underdog. Ryan, who was on social media saying, bring that guy to me afterwards, has to be feeling confident if that's the fight that gets made at some point before the end of this year. All the welterweights out there were saying the exact same thing. Devin Haney is on social media. Shakur Stevenson, who is not a big puncher at 140 pounds, said he would be disappointed.
A lot of people are worried that Conor Benn won't be able to fight at a high level against Ryan Garcia since he hasn't fought at 147 pounds in a few years. Since 2022, Ben has fought in fights above his weight class, such as middleweight and catchweight fights. This forced him to make big changes before his title fight. Analysts aren't sure how his hard-won weight loss will affect his strength, stamina, and general performance on fight night. Ben just won his first fight back at welterweight against Regis Prograis. He has said that getting to 147 pounds is not a problem, but some boxing experts are still not sure. Some people say it's a unique challenge to fight a champion like Garcia, who is naturally explosive and quick after years of fighting heavier weights. So, Ben and his staff are hopeful that his hard work, dedication, and experience will help him get back into the division and compete for the WBC welterweight title at the highest level.
Second, Spence. Listen to Paulie Malignaggi had some things to say about the fight in Conor Benn. Listen to him.
Paulie, did you catch the Conor Benn fight? Did you catch the co-main event?
I did. You know what, guys? I'm done. I'm done with it. This guy is horrible. This guy's terrible. I don't mind watching Conor Benn. Like I don't mind him getting the fanfare. He's an okay fighter. Just don't start mentioning him at world-class level. Then you start going, start crossing the line. Because he's not your Jake Paul either. So it's not like I'm throwing him all the way on the other side. I'm not doing that. I'm being a very honest person here. He's an okay fighter, okay? But just don't start mentioning him with these world-class situations and world-class fighters. He talks about Shakur Stevenson and all this other stuff. His name belongs nowhere near those guys, okay? For the fanfare, okay, I get it. People start talking about him. He's got a lot of popularity, and I understand that's going to happen. But don't start mentioning him boxing-wise with these guys. All of a sudden, right away, we start seeing tweets and Instagrams about this Shakur Stevenson fight and everybody. Shakur Stevenson would beat him with one hand. I would beat him.
People who know a lot about boxing say that the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn is getting too much attention. Some boxing experts think that too much attention is being paid to the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Some boxing experts think that too much attention is being paid to the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Some boxing experts think that too much attention is being paid to the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. Some boxing experts think that too much attention is being paid to the fight between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn. It would be a bigger and more important event if Garcia and Devin Haney fought again. Their first fight was one of the most talked about in boxing history. There was a lot of rivalry, dramatic moments, and controversy. Both boxers have become welterweight champions since then, which makes a rematch even more important. In the rematch, two champions would settle unfinished business between foes who have been enemies for a long time. These people say that the event has everything that fans want. The rematch has top-level talent, the championship at stake, different styles, and a personal rivalry that makes it interesting. Both fighters are huge stars with lots of fans, which makes the fight very marketable from a business point of view.
As I'm looking at these photos, I'm just thinking to myself, why are we talking about Ryan Garcia against Conor Benn? Why aren't we talking more about Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney? This was the fight that so many people wanted to make less than a year ago. When these two guys were in New York City, getting ready to fight in that Times Square card, all they both had to do was win their fights. Devin looked, mediocre against Jose Ramirez. Ryan went out and lost to Rolly Romero. That fight went away. A year later, both these guys are in much different places. Devin Haney came off that win against Brian Norman. He is a welterweight champion. Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios. He is a welterweight champion. This is the fight we should be talking about. Like, no disrespect to Conor Benn, who has a big name, big punch, can sell a fight. This is the best, I'm going to say the best. It's the best fight you can make in the welterweight division right now. Two champions, two guys that hate each other, two guys with big names. Why is this fight not front burner for both of these guys? Why is Ryan Garcia talking about taking this fight?
Henry Garcia doesn't like that Conor Benn signed with Zuffa Boxing because he thinks that using a new and better way to promote fights can hurt a fighter's career. He thinks that well-known boxing networks give fighters access to the best opponents, stable rankings, and big title chances. A new platform for startups might add randomness and good matchmaking. But Garcia says that early-stage businesses often have politics and bad infrastructure that stop boxers from facing big names. Also, he says that contractual obligations might make it hard to be flexible and move promoters or go after big matches. He does say that money could be an incentive, but he stresses that money shouldn't come before long-term career advancement. He thinks that a fighter runs the risk of being cut off from mainstream boxing competition, which slows things down, makes them less visible, and eventually limits their chances of leaving their mark on the sport.
What your thoughts were on Conor Benn signing with Zuffa?
That organization just started, and if I were a boxer that's already been established, you don't want to test something out that hasn't been perfected yet. You know what I mean? Zuffa hasn't been perfected yet, so you're gonna ruin your career. And now that you signed, you can't fight people like us. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
You can't fight. It takes time. And it's if you think there's politics now, it's more politics.
But Henry, if they offer you $20 million, you're taking the fight.
Well, you know what? Again, it's up to the managers, but I'm telling you, I don't think Dana White will give away $20 million. I don't think
Maybe
so.
for Ryan's a superstar.
Well, that's true, maybe. But anyways, you don't go on the other side unless it's been tested, and I don't think Zuffa has been tested already.
Especially because there's already been conversations where Conor has wanted to fight.
Well, that's why.
Ryan.
Why would he sign? Why would he sign then? You had Ryan right there, and then he's another hater. See, there you go. And I'm glad that we proved him wrong. Another hater. That my son can't go over 6 rounds or whatever. I can't stand people like that. You know, and this is true sense.
Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn are still arguing, and Regis Prograis has made things worse by suggesting that Garcia might lose a fight. Prograis praised Benn's strength and said that many people don't realize how hard he hits. She warned that underestimating him could be a mistake. Prograis says that Benn is a dangerous welterweight opponent for anyone, but especially for top-level fighters like Garcia, because he is aggressive, puts pressure on the other fighter, and can close the gap quickly. What was the point of not taking Garcia's skills or title into account at all? He made it sound like Benn's strength and toughness might be a big problem if the fight got close. Fans of boxing have mixed feelings about Prograis' comments, especially since he was just in the ring with Benn and saw how he fought. Conor Benn has also talked about his confidence in Ryan Garcia before their fight, saying over and over that he doesn't think the American champion can match his level of skill in the ring. Benn has spoken out against Garcia in public, saying that he is ready to face Garcia for the WBC welterweight title and won't be scared off by Garcia's fame or recent success. He says that Garcia will not be able to handle his pressure, anger, and physical strength for 12 rounds.
Monday morning, 10K for breakfast. Any day of the week. Discipline, unmatched. Work ethic, unmatched. You can't outwork me. Shout out to Regis, great opponent. Back-to-back stadium shows. I want that WBC world title next. Let these eyes heat up in the head clashes. And then we're good to go. I've been ready to go July, August. I want to be active. Yeah, boy. More motivated now than ever. First fight back at 147, 150. I'm ready to drop back down to 147 and get that world title. Get what belongs to me. Keep that belt warm, Garcia. I'm coming through.
Concerns have been raised by experts about Conor Benn's ability to compete at the highest level of the welterweight class. They say that Benn might have a hard time against elite opponents who are fast, skilled, and smart in the ring, as opposed to fighters who only use aggression or strength. His most recent results are used as proof of this question, which means that he hasn't always shown the level of dominance that would be expected from a top candidate. From this point of view, a fight with Ryan Garcia is only interesting for the sake of money and publicity, not because it would be good for sports. It would give Benn a big reward, fame around the world, and a big event. It is risky, though, if he isn't really ready for elite competition. If he moves up to that level too quickly, he might lose, which would stop his progress and make it take longer for him to get ahead in his career.
Why Zuffa Boxing, Keith Connolly, Conor Benn are pushing for the Ryan Garcia fight. It is lucrative. It is a world title. But I think they also know, at least the people around Conor Benn, that if the Ryan Garcia fight doesn't happen and they put Conor Benn in with somebody else who doesn't bring the same cachet to the ring, Conor Benn could lose. Like what Conor Benn showed me against Regis Prograis is that these lower weight classes, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. 150 pounds.